Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss part 6 of Unit 9, that is application of biology. Before I start the main content, I would like to inform that the images used in our slides are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of the original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. In today's video lecture, we are mainly focusing on these points: allergens, inflammation, lymphoid organs, autoimmunity, and acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So first topic is allergy. Okay. As you know, if you went for a new place and suddenly someone start sneezing, wheezing without any reason, no explained reason. If someone go outside or in a new place, suddenly start is sneezing, wheezing, and when you went back to your place, that kind of symptoms disappeared. So this type of behavior is known as allergens. Okay. And for this type of allergies, some people are very much sensitive for some particles which are present in our environment, like pollens, like mites. Some other particles also, like some insects, some drugs, hay fever, some kind of food like chocolates and all. Okay, some people are very much showing allergic symptom for certain kind of particles. Okay, so this aggregated response of our immune system, okay, for a particular type of antigen. Right now we are using the antigen term for these type of particles which are present in the environment and show a allergic response for some people. So we can use a term allergen for the same. Okay, so this aggregated response of the immune system to certain antigen which is present in our environment is called allergic molecule, and this type of behavior is known as allergy. Okay, so what we discussed just now, if it is very common these days, especially in all those people which are living in metro cities. Okay, so many construction work going on, so many smoke is there during Diwali time. So many pollution increase day by day especially in metro cities. So people are really showing these days allergic response for some kind of particle. Okay, so some people are sensitive to some particles which are present in our environment. It may be any type of pollutant, any type of pollen grains, dog hairs, some kind of drugs, some kind of insects, and in fact some food particles also. So this X aggregate response of their immune system for that particular type of particle is known as allergy. Okay, this is known as allergy. And the substance to which such immune response is produced is called allergen, right? And what is the main antibody which are responsible for this allergic behavior is IgE, immunoglobulin E. Okay, and what are the common examples of that antigen, or we can use the term allergen for the same. Okay, what are the some common example like mites, pollen, animal danders, some kind of chocolates, some kind of seed. Okay, so these are the common examples which are present in our environment. And what are the symptoms of allergic reactions? Sneezing, watery eye, running nose, some kind of dermatitis on the skin. Okay, difficult in breathing. These type of symptoms immediately come in that particular sensitive person. Okay, so allergen is due to the release. And what is the allergy? What is the main biochemical reaction, or what is the main content? What right term is content? Okay, or chemical. What is the main chemical or biochemical is responsible for this allergic behavior? This is histamine and serotonin. Okay, immediately our body cells release histamine and serotonin from the mast cell. Okay, from the mast cell, and these kind of molecules show this type of allergic behavior: sneezing, coughing, difficulty in breathing, dermatitis, scratching. Okay, so these are the main molecules. Number one, histamine, another one is serotonin. So for the determining the cause of allergy, what is the, there are so many pollutants present in the environment. What kind of molecule is showing allergen behavior for someone special? Okay, there are so many particles, but a specific particle act as a allergen for some for person A, some other particle behave as a allergen for person B. Okay, so to determine the cause of allergen, that particular patient is exposed to or injected to a very small dose of possible allergens. Means there are 4 or 5 allergens in the environment, so very small dose has been injected into the body, and that type of dose which show that this allergic response is considered as a allergen for that particular patient. Okay, so the use of drugs for, so what we can do in this particular situation, the use of drug with the consultation of the doctor. Okay, like antihistamine, adrenaline, certain kind of steroid, these are actually help in that allergic reaction and quickly reduce the symptom of allergy. Okay, now as you know that modern day lifestyle has result lowering the immunity of the people, and in nowadays people are more sensitive towards the allergen. Some childrens which are live in metro cities, already I told you this, they actually mainly suffer from various allergens present in the environment and showing asthma due to sensitivity to the environment. Why? Because in today's scenario, all the parents keep their children in a very protective environment, in a very hygienic manner, in a very protected environment. So suddenly after some years, they just allowed to go outside to play in a non hygienic environment. Okay, so people, some type of children show allergic reaction for that kind of particles. Okay, or allergens. Okay, so this is all about the allergen. Now next topic is autoimmunity. Okay, what is autoimmunity? As you know, immunity topic already we have, I think, discussed, or in lecture we will discuss. But this autoimmunity means self-immunity. Self-immunity. Okay, so memory-based acquired immunity. Memory-based acquired immunity evolved in higher plants based on the ability our immune system is so much smart. It is now analyze that what kind of cell is my own body cell, or what kind of particle or cell I can consider as a foreign particle. Okay, so our immune system is very smart, and it is very easily analyzed between self and non-self, self and non-self. Okay, self and non-self. So memory-based acquired immunity evolved in higher vertebrates based on the ability to differentiate foreign organism, or we can use the term pathogen for the same, foreign particle or foreign organism, from self cell. Okay, so very quickly our body analyze and show a reaction against the foreign particle or pathogen or antigen. Immediately, quickly develop T helper cell or antibodies through B cells, right? And very quickly kill all those pathogens, or in any way, means kill or phagocyte or degrade, whatever term you can use over here, right? So this is how this memory based acquire immunity system works. But sometimes what happen, due to some genetic or some unknown reason, our body attack its own self cell. And because of this attack, our immune system, if attack its own cell, then what will happen? It will damage our own body, right? So this results in damage to our own body, and this is known as autoimmune disease. When our immune system work to kill our body's own cell, our self cell. Normally, our immune system recognize the foreign particle or foreign antigen, or we can say non-self or antigen, non-self particles, and degrade that foreign invader or particle or pathogen in a normal scenario. But sometime because of some genetic reason or some unknown reason, body attack its own cell. So damage its own body cell type, and this is known as autoimmunity. One of the example of this autoimmune disease is rheumatoid arthritis. It is a autoimmune disease which affect many people in our society. It is a very good example of autoimmune disease. Okay. Now, immune system of our body. As you know that in human, our immune system is having so many different organ type, or so many organs, so many type of cells. These are and some kind of molecule also, like antibodies. They all collectively consider as a immune system of our body. Okay, so in immune system, some lymphoid organs, some kind of tissue, some kind of cells, some soluble molecules like antibody are present. As you can see in this picture, there are so many green rounded structure. These are known as lymph nodes, and these are connected with the lymphatic vessels. This is the bone marrow. Okay, this is the thymus. Okay, tonsils, spleen, Peyer's patches, small intestine, large intestine, all over the body. There are so many tiny lymph nodes are present. They all are considered under this immune system. And our immune system play a very important role in allergic reaction, in autoimmune disease, in organ transplantation, and to generate immunity against any pathogen. Okay, so organs. Let's discuss organs which are associated with immune system. First one is lymphoid organ. So lymphoid organ, where origin and maturation of lymphocyte occur. Okay, origin and maturation occur. So we can classify lymphoid organ into two different types. First one is primary lymphoid organ. Another one is secondary lymphoid organ. So primary are bone marrow and thymus. First one is bone marrow and second thymus. This one is thymus and this is bone marrow. Bone marrow and thymus. These are primary lymphoid organ, where immature lymphocyte differentiate into antigen sensitive lymphocyte. Okay, a specific antigen sensitive lymphocyte. And after maturation, the lymphocyte migrate to the secondary lymphoid organ, like spleen, like lymph nodes, like tonsils, Peyer's patches of small intestine, appendix. These are the examples of spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, Peyer's patches. These are the examples of secondary lymphoid organ. Okay, so secondary lymphoid organ are those organ in which this interaction between antigen and antibody occur. Okay, so secondary lymphoid organ means spleen, tonsils, Peyer's patches of small intestine. These are the site for interaction with the antigen. which then proliferate to become a effector cell. Okay, so lymphoid organ, primary lymphoid organ are two, thymus and bone marrow, where origin of lymphocyte occur. Okay, and maturation occur. And from the primary lymphocyte, they migrate towards the secondary lymphocyte organ type like a spleen, lymph node, and other things, where these matured lymphocyte bind with the or interact with the antigen. Okay, so the main lymphoid organ is bone marrow. Bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ where all blood cells, including lymphocytes, are produced. Okay, so this is the main lymphoid organ. Okay, then thymus. Here, this is the thymus. It is a lobed organ which is located near the heart and beneath the breastbone. Okay, thymus is quite large at the time of birth, but keep reducing in the size with age. And by the time of puberty, it attains its reduced to a very small size. Okay, both bone marrow and thymus provide microenvironment for the development and maturation of T lymphocyte. Microenvironment for there are two type of lymphocytes, B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. Okay, so this bone marrow and thymus provide microenvironment for the development and maturation of T lymphocytes. Secondary lymphoid organ, first one is spleen. Okay, and this spleen is a large bean-shaped structure. Here it is located. Here. It is a large bean-shaped structure. It mainly contains lymphocytes and phagocytes. And it acts as a filter of the blood by trapping blood-borne microorganisms. Okay, that's why sometimes people also use the term graveyard of lymphocytes. Erythrocytes for the same. And sometimes spleen is also known as large reservoir for erythrocytes. Okay, because it actually filter the blood and trap all the blood-borne microorganisms. And the lymph node are now next one is the lymph node. Okay, this one is a spleen, and lymph node is present throughout our body as a small nodular form. Okay, so these lymph nodes are a small solid structure located different points along the lymphatic system. Lymph nodes serve to trap microorganism or other antigen which happen to get into the lymph and tissue fluid. Okay, they also trap the microorganism. So antigen trapped into the lymph node are responsible for the activation of lymphocytes. When it is trapped in the lymph node, then immediately it start activating lymphocytes which are present there and cause immune response. Okay, so there are lymphoid tissue which are located in various tracts of our system, like respiratory tract, like digestive tract, like urogenital tract. And collectively, we can use that term mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue for the same. MALT, mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue. All the genetic tract where lining of lymphoid tissue is located. Okay, and these lining constitute about 50% of lymphoid tissue in our body. Now, next is AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. What is the full form? Yes, it is mentioned over here, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This means deficiency of immunity, deficiency of immune system. Okay, acquired during the lifetime of an individual, indicating that it is not congenital disease. AIDS is not a congenital disease. It is not a congenital disease. Okay, and we can use the term syndrome for the same. Syndrome means group of symptoms. So many symptoms are there. in the people or in a person which is affected with this particular disease, AIDS. Okay. So this AIDS was first reported in 1981. Now it has spread all over the world, killing more than 25 million of the people. What is the causative agent? Causative agent is a virus known as human immunodeficiency virus or HIV. Okay. And this is a structure of this HIV virus. It is having double stranded RNA as a genetic material. You can see over here, these are two linings. Okay. Outer covering having certain receptor molecule. This is the structural protein and this is a lipid envelope. Okay. So this AIDS was first reported in 1981 and the causative agent is a virus known as human immunodeficiency virus, and it is a retrovirus, means RNA act as a genetic material in this virus. Okay, that's why we can use the term retrovirus for the same. Now for AIDS, there are so many type of rumors in the society, like what does it mean? What can we do for people who have it? How can we cured? What does it look like? Which of us has it? So what is the reason? Like there are so many questions. So don't guess the answer. Learn the truth about the AIDS. So first question arises, the transmission of HIV infection. How it transfer from or transmit from one person to another person. Okay, so transmission of HIV infection generally occur by sexual contact with infected person. Sexual contact with infected person. Secondly, this HIV can be transferred by transfusion of contaminated blood. If contaminated blood has been transfused from a contaminated person to non-contaminated one, or its blood product, then that particular patient can also get HIV virus. Third one is by sharing infected needles. By sharing infected needles. Okay. In the case of intravenous drug abusers. And the fourth cause, from infected mother to her child through placenta. Okay. So how this particular virus transfer from one person to another person? First one, sexual contact with the infected person. Second, by transfusion of contaminated blood and blood product. Third, by sharing infected needle. Okay. In case of intravenous drug abuse. And fourth one, from infected mother to her child through placenta. So what kind of people are at high risk? High risk, all those individuals who have multiple sexual partners. Okay. All those individuals, those are having drug addiction, who take drugs intravenously. Okay. Individuals who require repeat blood transfusion because of any reason. And all the children born to an HIV infected mother. They all are at high risk. Okay. So it is important to note that HIV and or we can say AIDS is not spread by mere of touch or any physical contact. It only and only spread through body fluid. It only spread through body fluid. This is a very, very important point. Okay. And appearance of AIDS symptoms vary from a few months to many years. It may take 5 to 10 years also. Okay. So what happened actually after infection? After getting that virus into the body of a person, the virus actually enter into the macrophages of our body. Okay. Where RNA genome of this virus, already I told you it is a RNA retrovirus. So its genetic material is double-stranded RNA. So this RNA genome of the virus replicate to form viral DNA. Okay, to form from RNA to viral DNA with the help of enzyme reverse transcriptase. With the help of the enzyme reverse transcriptase, as you can see, it just first attack to a macrophage and then quickly convert its own genetic material from RNA to DNA with in the presence of reverse transcriptase enzyme. Okay, and then this virus DNA get incorporated, it enter into the nucleus and then incorporated with the host DNA, as you can see over here. It incorporated its own DNA with the host cell, and then that macrophage start producing virus particle. Start producing so many virus particles. So in this situation, the macrophages of that individual act as a HIV factory. The kind of cell which actually, what is the main function of macrophages? To fight with the pathogen. They themselves act as a factory for this HIV virus. Okay, you can see over here. Okay, so what is the first step? It infect the macrophage. With the help of reverse transcriptase enzyme, it converts its RNA into the DNA and then enter into the nucleus of the macrophages, incorporate itself into the host DNA and start synthesizing its own virus particle. Okay, and simultaneously this HIV virus also enter into the helper T cell lymphocyte, replicate and produce progeny virus, macrophages and helper T cell also. Okay, so progeny virus release into the blood. So helper T cell also producing virus. So this progeny virus release into the blood and attack other helper T lymphocytes. And this is repeated, leading to progression, decrease the number of helper T cell, which mainly associated to directly fight with the pathogen under cell-mediated immune response, and also help B cell to produce antibody. But continuously it reduce its number because of the infection, as HIV enter into the helper T cell and replicate its own progeny. Okay, so continuously its number decrease inside the body in that particular infected person, and during this time the person suffer from various type of symptom, bout of fever, diarrhea, weight loss. These kind of symptom comes in that particular infected person, and that patient becomes so immunodeficient that he or she is unable to protect himself against simple infection, and that's why that person is very much sensitive for various kind of disease like tuberculosis, like other cold, fever, these type of infections. Okay, and how can we diagnose this AIDS? So diagnosis is mainly diagnosis occur with the help of this ELISA test, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Okay, and treatment of AIDS is little bit this antiviral drugs, antiretrovirus drug help, but only at partial level. So why so much sensitivity, and why so much immunity has been decreased in that particular infected person? Because significant amount of helper T cell has been decreased in the body. Okay, and that person, already I told you, starts suffering from mycobacterium, viruses infection, various kind of fungal infection, and parasite infection like toxoplasma also. So how we can prevent this particular infection, AIDS? So as you know, that AIDS has no cure. So this prevention is the only and best option. Moreover, HIV infection is spread due to conscious behavior pattern and not something that happen, inadvertently, like pneumonia or typhoid. Of course, infection in blood transfusion patient and newborn baby may take place because of poor monitoring, But in general, if we use a conscious behavior, then we can avoid the kind of infection. Okay, our in our country, National AIDS Control Organization, known as NACO, and some other NGOs are doing a lot to educate people about AIDS, and they also educate people to making blood safe from a safe blood bank for HIV. Use only disposable needles and syringe, distribution of condom, controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex, and a regular checkup for HIV in susceptible population. Okay, so this is all about the today's video lecture. I hope most of the content had been clear now. Still, you have any query, any confusion related to today's video lecture, you can write down to me comment box. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care, bye bye, and keep learning. Namaskar.